Oh my goodness. We're back. We're here. First time ever that we did a back-to-back doubleheader for y'all, but this is an action-packed Tuesday, and I am so thrilled to have with us for part two of our Tuesday session, Global Entrepreneurship Week, brought to you by the Louisiana Delta Community College School of Business and Technology. We have the lovely and talented Miss Christina Davis from the Louisiana Small Business Development Center here to tell us and instruct us and inform us about some things that this probably should have come first, right? This interview probably should have come first because she's going to take us from the ground zero, bring us all the way to a place where we probably have more questions than answers, but we need to go make a visit to the LSBDC over at the ULM campus and take our time and enjoy. But anyway, Christina, you have helped so many people. Your reputation is very, very good one in the community. I was talking to a couple of people last week, and they were like, I know Christina Davis, she helped me, etc. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Please take the time to introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, who you represent, and have you owned a business before?
Ooh. So my name is Christina Davis. I'm with the Small Business Development Center, like you just mentioned. I'm the senior business consultant. And what I do is help people, like you just mentioned, from ground zero and up. So anyone who is interested in being a future entrepreneur, anyone who said, I don't know where to start, like this segment is, and also people, we're known for startups, but people who want to go into expansion, to want to get some extra capital for their business, we assist with that as well. So we do from financial planning from A to Z.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot. A to Z. I mean, so basically, if I'm thinking about a startup and what you can do for me, but I'm glad you mentioned the fact that it doesn't have to be a startup. You might be midstream. My business is, I'm struggling a little bit. I need some help, and we can come to you and you can give us that assistance as well.
Exactly. So you just want to know what's going on with your cash flow. You may even have some HR problems, marketing problems, branding problems. We can get you connected to resources such as one of your previous speakers, Deron Talley. We can get you connected to him or other resources in the community that we work with. So we want to make sure that you are covered on all angles. Like you said, there's a lot of people that start midway in between. They're probably like, maybe I put the cart before the horse, and now I need to know how to get out of this situation.
Okay. So now, I'm wondering, you mentioned something to me before. If we're starting from ground zero, can anyone be an entrepreneur? Or maybe the better question is entrepreneurship for everyone? I mean, I can have a ton of ideas and I can think, man, I just want to run with it. But truly, is entrepreneurship for everyone?
Anyone can be an entrepreneur, yes. Is entrepreneurship for everyone? No.
And why is that, right?
And you're like, wow, Christina, really?
Yeah, I mean, this is supposed to be inspirational, right? And here you are. You're going to chop us down, right? Give us the real deal, though. What's the scoop on this whole deal?
To be an entrepreneur, you have to be steadfast, persistent. You have to be willing to take on the bad along with the good. And that is being in the world of uncertainty, because you never know what's what happened. For instance, let's take the pandemic that we're getting through.
Yeah, that was a lot of uncertainty.
That was a lot of uncertainty, and a lot of small businesses were not ready for that. So being ready to take on those uncertainties, being ready to say, well, I don't have a check in the mail coming every 2 weeks now. No. If you walk away from your job, you're not guaranteed that check. Of course, 9-to-5s or regular employment is not guaranteed. Anything's not guaranteed, but you know that check is coming. If someone screws up, they have to correct it and still seeing your money. But if you screw up as an entrepreneur and you don't have customers coming in your door, you're not getting that check. So you have to work harder in order to get that money. So it's just making sure that you have that drive and that passion, just like Brian said on yesterday's segment. Passion is the driver behind entrepreneurship. And if you can't handle that and you're like, I got to give up, it's probably not for you.
It's funny, but I like the fact that we keep hearing the same themes over and over again. Passion, drive, commitment, discipline came up a few times as well. So there's nothing wrong with repeating those things. In fact, a lot of times we don't remember as well unless we hear it more than once, right?
Right.
It's kind of like your mom had to tell you a few times.
My mom told me no a lot.
Right. Don't do that. Why? So, but we can be hard-headed and just kind of bulldoze through anyway. And then when we make the mistake, it comes back to us and she says, "Well, I told you."
You get burnt. No?
Yeah, that's right. So entrepreneurship, it can be yours. It can be a very fruitful endeavor. Self-actualization, if we're going to go into psychology and Maslow's hierarchy of needs and all that. I mean, it can really be fulfilling, but there's a lot that goes into it. But so here I am, a small business person, right, or thinking about starting my own business. I'm not going to assume that I already have a business, but I'm thinking about it, right? And I want to be, I don't know, the next Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg. I'm thinking tech, of course, because that's what we always hear. But it could be, I might want to be the next, if my grandfather owned a general store, I might want to be the next him, because it was in the family. So where do I begin? Or keep talking about better questions. If I walk into the offices of the Louisiana Small Business Development Center, how do we begin? How does the conversation begin?
For my clients, I have a list of questions or action items that we go through so I can better understand where you are in your thought process of starting your business, where you are in this idea, in this idea stage. So for me, is saying what you have up here, we got to put it on paper.
Oh, there's that documentation and the data.
Starting with the business plan.
No, I don't want to do that. I just want to run. I want to create. I want to just open up shop and go. And you're going to stop me and tell me I have to write things down?
Right, yes. We need it on paper. And this helps not only because we need it on documentation, but also it helps with some of the content you might put out there, marketing-wise. So when you put this on paper, you already have content for your website, for your social media platforms, for any brochures you may create. This, to get put on paper, your business name, what your business is for, description, where is it located, who's your target audience, what are your price points. Not only do you need this, but let's say you go get a loan. The banker is going to ask you all of those questions. So for my clients, or for when you come into an LSBDC shop, we're going to sit down, we're going to go through those series of questions to see where you are and make sure we can get everything that's up here in these beautiful entrepreneur minds and put it on paper.
Yeah. Wow. So, okay, we have to slow down.
Yes.
And breathe and then just take the time.
Yes.
Because, I can't tell you the number of individuals I've come across, whether it be they have a passion for cooking, they want to have a restaurant or a food truck maybe. They make crafts, they're fashion designers, or anything like that. There's so many ideas. And there's a lot of people that don't wait to put all their ducks in a row.
Yeah.
They just want to go for it. And I applaud them because sometimes we're our own worst enemy and we stop before we start, you know. But you have the privilege of slowing people down.
Yes.
And saying, let's write it all down. Go through that list again one more time for us. So what are we're looking at? Business name?
We're looking at business name, the reason for your business, so what's your service and product, location, full description of your business, owner experience. You just can't go to someone and say, I need $500,000 to open a restaurant, and you've never been in the kitchen before.
Why not? Come on, this money's everywhere, right?
Of course. No, it doesn't fall off trees, and people are not giving it away. You need to have some type of experience. one thing that I really think is very, very important is knowing the roles and responsibility of the people in your business. So if it's you and it's other team players or other players that you have on board with you, make sure you know what their role is, that they are clear on what their responsibilities are within the company.
Wow. I know I know you got a list of things to get through, but hold on a second. I just want to give you some love from the chat.
Okay.
Right. So Brian Johnson's worked with you, KIZ 106.7.
Hey,
He says, I love the SBDC with 5 billion exclamation marks behind it. Thank you, Brian. They
Thanks,
made me
Brian.
stronger in my areas for improvement. Again, and he was doing the talk about being a serial entrepreneur,
Yes.
and yet he came to you and was able to be humbled a little bit, and take the notes and do better. So that's incredible that you had that effect and you were able to get through. Because us guys, we can be a little hard-headed sometimes.
A little bit.
But here's the other thing I heard as you were talking, right? Is you started getting into management, of yourself, of people, and again, I think solo entrepreneur. By default, solo is in front of the word entrepreneur, even though that's not what the definition is or whatever. But in my head, I'm always thinking about me, and I said that on the last one too. You're talking about teams, managing people, etc. So I cut you off when you were starting to say that. Go ahead, keep going. I'm sorry.
Team roles and responsibilities. Entrepreneur does not mean do it by yourself. You have to have, even if they're not within the company, maybe it's something you need to outsource. So maybe you need to find an accountant to help you with your books. Maybe you need to find a marketing company to assist you with your social media management, with your website. Maybe you need to find a payroll solution company that can help you with payrolls if you bring on employees when you're starting out in your business. There are things that you will have to outsource, and there's professionals out there, such as myself, that can assist you. And so you won't have to do everything by yourself. Entrepreneurship does not mean do it alone. All of these, the Jeff Bezos, the Mark Zuckerberg, the Oprahs, Tyler Perry's, all of these people have a team of people working with them.
But hold on a second. Hold on. When Oprah first started out, I don't think she had a team. She just had her, right? And then, I'm thinking to myself, that's a big hill to climb. I'm just trying to feed myself, maybe my family, and now I got to worry about these other folks that I'm going to bring along with me.
Yeah.
How do we even get there? Right?
Again, it's not just saying I have a team of people within my business. It's saying that I have a team of people around me, a support system. So you need people around you that's going to help support this idea and this vision that you have. When you have those people on the outside making sure everything is being ran well, when Oprah had her show, she was on stage by herself. She brought on guests, but there was a camera crew. There's production. There are people who are selling the tickets. There are people who are getting the sets ready.
I thought Oprah was all about the free giveaways, right? There's no selling. I'm just kidding. Wow. Actually, I wish I've seen, it's kind of a guilty admission, I've seen lots of episodes of Oprah. She's just popular. She's huge.
Yeah.
And when that show was on, it would amaze me. Like, that was some entrepreneurs' crowning moments. Being on that show, just to be on there, much less whatever came from it. So, I'm getting off on Oprah. I didn't think we were going to
on tangent.
but thank you for that. But teamwork makes the dream work.
It sure does.
Is what you're really trying to say.
Yeah.
And I need to step out of your way so that you can finish that thought and get on to the next thought. But I just have this hang up about it just being the team of me. That was from a movie too,
The team of me. The team of me, yes. When you first start, when you have that vision, it's all about you. But there's gonna come a time of how much can I handle? What is my true capacity? And if you want to scale your business, you're gonna have to realize that I can't do this by myself. Or you're just gonna be stuck there, wherever stage in your business that you're at.
I'm wondering when, you talked about outsourcing, maybe doing some, getting somebody to help with your marketing, getting somebody to help with your books. Yes, absolutely, right? If you're not
Yes.
handy with the accounting and the finances,
Yeah.
paying a payroll specialist, paying a CPA. I guess this is a question that probably doesn't have an answer. It's probably specific to each individual business, but how do you know when it's time to start outsourcing? Like, how do you know when it's time to grab somebody else and bring them into the fold, or pay somebody to contract? Because again, I'm thinking, oh wait, I made $10 today. I don't want to give half of that away to my CPA. you
Yeah.
know?
Well,
Is there a magic formula, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
when you first start, and every CPA or bookkeeper, a experienced bookkeeper is going to tell you that you need me, especially if you're not familiar with. It costs a lot more to get out of tax trouble than it does getting someone to help you set your books up.
Okay.
And you definitely need to make sure that you look into that. And not saying that you need to have a retainer for this person, because I know that a lot of small businesses that open don't have the money for that, or they're spending their dollars elsewhere. But you have to keep in mind, this is an important component of your business, making sure from jump that you are taking care of your finances, your money, your cash flow.
It's kind of like the accountant or the bookkeeper is almost like an insurance policy, because like you said, if you're not paying your taxes appropriately, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And so I can understand that. And if you're not an expert at that, and plus, I think if I recall, if you file in taxes quarterly with the state and you don't file, they can just revoke your business license, or you could be no longer recognized by the state as an actual entity. If I remember hearing about that before, but I'm not sort of asking and saying at the same time, So there's ramifications, and not only that, but then if you're not, above board, on your reporting, then of course, there's all kind of other legal troubles, and then you're looking at having to have a lawyer on retainer, which is even more expensive than the accountant you should have had there before.
Yeah. And even if you can't afford an accountant right off jump, just make sure you keep up with your finances, with your bookkeeping. Keep it on an Excel spreadsheet. Keep it somewhere where it's digital, not paper. So you can see what you are spending. What are things, how much money you're spending on items that you need for your business, and those expenditures that you have to spend on every month.
Okay. So now I have a question, but I don't, if there's a certain flow you want to go with. Okay.
Let's get with the questions.
All right. So one of the questions I get semi-regularly, and these are from our students who I love dearly, because they are going to be the next great idea. They're going to have the next great business. And so I want to answer this in the best way I can. And I feel like I kind of know the answer, but since you're in the room, I feel like we'll get the definitive answer on this question, okay?
Okay.
The question I get is, how can I be officially recognized as a business in the state of Louisiana? And see, I always thought, well, if you just start selling things, kind of quasi-technically, you're already a sole proprietorship. But again, there could be some trouble there. So what am I really supposed to be telling a student of ours, or anybody in the community? But that's okay. Yes, please. Christina came, even though she's a little under the weather, she just did not want to disappoint her fans at the 4:00 hour. So we thank you, Christina, for this. How do we become officially recognized businesses, and is it really that important?
To become a legitimate business, you need to be either registered with your parish, and that's where the sole proprietorship comes in, or with the state of Louisiana. That's where your limited liability company comes in. That's where your LLC comes in. So that's you going on GoBiz. Our Secretary of State is with GoBiz.
So hold on, while you catch your breath, because I know it's a little troubling right here. Yeah. So let me ask GoBiz. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the chat for those that are watching. GEAUX. It's the Louisiana spelling of Go.
Louisiana spelling of Go. Yes.
BIZ, And is it .com?
.sos.
Oh, well. This is why I
.la.
asked. .la.
.gov.
.gov. Okay, so GEAUXBIZ.SOS.LA.gov.
Correct.
Okay, in the chat, for those that are curious, click on the link or copy and paste to your web browser, and you'll be able to see it. And on that website, it's the Secretary of State's website.
Yes.
And that's what, now, okay, for my parish, do I have to go to GoBiz for that sole proprietorship in the parish?
You would go to your local courthouse or police jury. For the city of West Monroe, to have a occupational license website as well. So you can go to cityofwestmonroe.com, and it's going to be /180/business license.
All right, here I go, cityofwestmonroe.com. I wish I was a faster typer. Monroe.com /what?
180
180
/business licenses.
Woo. Licenses plural.
Yes.
Okay, that's in the chat now. All right. So, and this is for your occupational license. And specific to West Monroe, it could be different in varying parishes, but it would take a long time for you to tell us all
Usually it's
of it.
the local courthouse, police jury. There are some rural areas where you might go to a school board office to get it. So long as when you're registered with one other, and then get your federal your FEIN.
There you go.
Federal Employment Identification Number. That's when you become official, because now you can utilize that number if you're getting contracted out. Instead of using your Social Security number, you have your FEIN, so you can use that in place of it, and that's kind of your business identity number.
Now this is interesting. So even if you're a sole proprietorship, you're saying it's still wise to have a veil or a covering over your social using FEIN.
Yeah, it just separates it out.
Okay.
Because now you're legitimate. You're a small business.
So
you want to get that.
Okay, just like you have a business name. Now the FEIN, I'm assuming the government, if they needed to, they could trace the origin of the FEIN back to your social or to you.
Yes, you have to put in your Social Security number in order to register for that. So you can go on irs.gov.
Oh, okay. Well, you're giving me all the websites. You're going to keep me
Yeah.
busy today. irs.gov.
irs.gov, and you'll go under File Business. And all you need to put is RS. But I'm just telling people who are listening that they can go to under File, and it should be Business, and it'll go down to filing for your employment tax ID. And it'll also have a Q&A section, so you can know why you need this number, if you really need it. There's great information out there. Do your research. Know what you're doing. That's so important.
Do your research. That's why we're coming to you, though. This is our research party right here. Wow. So this is IRS. Okay. How, in your experience, I mean, you have the whole IRS website, it sounds like memorized by now, at least as it pertains to small business ventures, right? How complicated is it to file for your FEIN? Let's just say, let's take that little piece right there.
Not complicated at all. Takes about 5-10 minutes.
Can I
Tops.
open up multiple businesses under the same FEIN?
Yes.
Can I open up multiple businesses under different FEINs under my social?
You can,
Oh.
but if you look in the Q&A, it said there's no need to do that. Well, let me take that back. Excuse me. Yes, you can. If they are different industries completely, and let's say that you have one industry over here is your T-shirt company and you open a laundromat, you definitely want to have separate FEINs. And you, especially if you're running the businesses separately, you want to make sure that you keep those things separate. Like, so why I said yes on going back to if you have to redo your FEIN, if you change your business name or if you make some tweak to your business and you already have a FEIN for your business, you don't have to necessarily change that, if that makes sense.
Sure. You know, it kind of sounds like keeping your business finances separate from your personal finances is kind of the same idea with the FEIN.
Yeah.
Is there, is it possible just like your business license can expire? Is it possible your FEIN can also do the same thing?
No, your FEIN cannot. You should, but keep up with it because calling IRS, getting that number is a pain. But make sure you keep up with it when you apply for it. Save it on your computer, print it out, save it on a backup drive. Just make sure that you keep up with that number. Also, as far as separation, you want to make sure that you don't compile everything under one thing, especially if it's not in the same industry. You got something going on over here, you have another thing going over here, and this is for my serial entrepreneurs. You have all of these different entities and businesses, and if there's something that happens or you need to individually represent a business or individually doing some financial things with that business, it's better to have that. Especially if you like dissolve a business or it's under totally different names.
Oh, you just said something that hurts my heart.
What?
Yeah, because I mean, we're on here talking about building businesses and entrepreneurship from the ground up, and yet you mentioned a word, dissolving.
Yes.
And it's like, I never thought, we have these great ideas. I just want to go out there and make money and make my mark on the world. And then we might have to dissolve our business. And there's a whole process that goes into that too.
Yes, you can go through the GoBiz site on your dashboard. You can file an amendment to dissolve your business. You can also, it's just important to have a contingency plan.
Wow.
Important to have a backup plan in case it doesn't work out. Or if you are wanting to exit your business, have an exit strategy. That's very important.
And so at the LSBDC, you'll walk people through how to have an exit strategy. Can you give us like a brief synopsis of what an exit strategy is even going to look like?
It's going to go back to that business plan. It's going to go back. What are your roles and responsibilities? What is it that you do in your business? Who are your vendors? Who are your suppliers? Who are your resources outside of your company? Who do you outsource to? Having that on paper, making sure that you have your books together, clientele if that's needed, that is in a way or in a fashion that you can just say, here's everything, you can take over the business.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm trying to think now that I'm really down because I'm thinking about dissolution, dissolving everything. Let's talk. Let's go back to I'm in the room. I'm at the offices of the LSBDC.
Okay.
I'm sitting across from you. I have a business plan. Oh my gosh. I sat down and actually took the time.
I'm impressed.
I know because, I'm not feeling this whole business plan thing right now. Let me tell you. I just want to run, right? I want to run away from that and do what I want to do, which is be creative or whatever that is. So I have my business plan. I've done my homework. I know who my suppliers are, who my vendors are. If I have to outsource, I guess in the business plan, I have a way to back out of the business if I need to. All those things are in there. Now what? Is that all I have to do is just make a business plan that I'm success? Yes, I can do it.
No, we got to have some action.
Action?
Action.
What is
Okay,
that?
so how are we getting this thing started?
Okay, how do we do it?
So, of course, it takes money. It takes money to make money. And you may want to approach traditional lending. So taking that business plan, hold on, let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about financials. Do you have financials in this business plan, or is it just a written plan?
Wait. Okay, time out. So in the business plan, you're saying we have to have financial what? Like a plan for the 3 years of what each month is going to look like?
Right.
Are we getting some startup capital with a loan?
So my first question as far as financials go is, A, how much is this going to cost you? How much are the furniture, fixture, equipment, supplies, inventory? What's the price of all this? Building, are you leasing a building or are you buying a building? What is the cost of all this? Let's break it down. When you go somewhere, you go anywhere and you want to borrow money, they're going to ask you, what do you want it for? Right? So you're You're going to need a breakdown of what funds you need and why you need them. Then let's look at your prices. How much are you selling the service or product for? Let's look at your target audience, or how many people you're trying to reach. What is your capacity? So we want to take that information, give it to me. What are your monthly expenditures, like we said before? And let's put it in a financial plan. This way I can look at a 3-year projection of those financials when you go and see that lender or investor. But this helps us set goals, because you can't meet goals you don't set, right?
This sounds like a lot of work. You're telling me that it takes a lot of work to be an entrepreneur?
It takes work to be an entrepreneur.
Oh my gosh.
This is not something you just build and they will come.
I can't just
That's
get up
another
one
movie.
day and just, yeah, right. I can't just get up one day and just say, okay, I'm ready. Let's do it.
No.
But that's why we're having the conversation. That's why we're having Global Entrepreneurship Week, because it's so easy to get caught up in our own hype and our own excitement. But there are real things, real milestones that have to happen
Yes.
for us to just have a foundation,
Right.
much less be successful.
Right.
The financial piece, you were getting into the fact of, well, in your business plan, you need to have some projections. And what's going to be the cost of doing business? I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in there and say, what if I'm starting my business out of my house? Is that a legitimate thing? Can I say that, right? I'm sure you've had people ask you that. I don't have any overhead. I already have a computer. I'm going to do, I don't know, whatever that might be. I'm going to edit videos. I don't know.
Okay.
So there's nothing, right? I don't have anything, no expenses, but you're going to tell me that's not true.
You're using energy to do this, right? To edit.
Okay.
You have office supplies that you need. So if you're printing out invoices or receipts, or you're using a type of software that you have to purchase monthly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Or you buying supplies, or you're creating different sets, or all of this goes into play. And especially with your home office, there's so much you can deduct from your home office. And that goes into, I'm not a CPA, I'm not an accountant, so I'm not going to.
Come on, tell us the
I'm
tax
not going
secrets.
to get too deep in that, but there's certain percentages that you can deduct if you are running a home-based business.
Okay.
So you do have overhead. It's part of your lights. It's part of your utilities of your household, and also your operating supplies, your software, your inventory. And maybe you also purchase some marketing products, some digital marketing products that you have to pay for monthly. So there are some monthly expenditures in every small business.
So when we put everything on the balance sheet, we have to include our time and effort. Potentially, we have to include the lights being on in the room. And that's really the smart thing to do, because like you said, you can write it off. Well, like you said, we'll get a tax accountant or someone here to break some of that stuff down for us. But certainly, no, you're fine. You're fine. We thank you for being here. But certainly those are some things to think about. What else? Okay, so I have my financial plan, I think, in place or something like that. What am I doing next? I'm scared to know. When do I get to have fun? Not yet, huh?
Not yet.
All right, tell us what's next.
So, excuse me. So now we have the business plan, we have the financials. We're putting it all together, and we're going to pick a lender, right?
Oh, okay. Do I really want to borrow money?
If you don't have to, don't. But
The SBA will save the day? Okay, keep going. I think if I make you laugh hard enough.
I know he's
then
gonna make me laugh.
It'll just, it'll come up.
But SBA will save the day.
Y'all are going to, look at that. See, we
Let's-
broke it on this show, Global Entrepreneurship Week, LDCC, School of Business Technology. We broke a new slogan. Thank you so much. We're doing big things here. Now, go
We
ahead.
are. So let's go back to funding. it's good to have cash on hand or to save up funds to put towards the small business. Now, I'm not saying, Christina said, take all my savings and put it in my small business. No. If we can take some of what you saved and we can leverage it with some of what you need to borrow, so you'll have some money to put down as collateral. And you want to make sure that whoever you speak with, if it's a commercial lender or if it's an investor, you want to make sure that they fit the desires that you need to be fit as part of their loan products that they have. Do they lend to businesses like yours? There's banks that like certain businesses or that work with certain businesses. Every bank is a little bit different.
Interesting. So banks can be choosy about who they lend money to, not just based on, I don't know, like your credit history or whatever, but also just the types of businesses.
Yeah.
Wow.
There are some banks that do not lend to just straight startups. There's some banks that want you to be in business a couple of years and maybe come and ask for a little capital. There are some banks that do not like restaurants or retail. You might have to go somewhere else. But I'll have a interview questionnaire for my clients that I give them that they can ask the lender questions, because it's important to know who you're dealing with and if you can receive some of the services that they have to offer, services or products that they have to offer. So asking those questions like, do you lend to this type of industry? This is my credit score. This is how much money I'm bringing in. For my regular job, this is how much money I need to borrow. What type of products do you have that can help me? Another question I ask my clients is, what can you afford to borrow?
Yeah, very good.
Because you have to pay it back.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, in the chat, right, Key Marketing Solutions LLC, Deron Talley says banks want their money back. And they want to go with whoever has the best chance of giving them their money back, with interest, of course.
Right.
Also, another comment in the chat said, SBA certifications will certainly open you up to new customers. I don't know if that's within the scope of our conversation today, but I've never heard of SBA certifications. Is that something that we can touch on?
There are SBA certifications out there, especially if you want to do more contractual work or open some contractual opportunities that, yes, will open you up to new customers. So you have like women-owned certification, you have 8A certification, you have a veteran-owned. There are lots of certifications out there. You have the DBE certification that's out there. So when you get into business and you get past the lender and get everything going, then apply for these certifications. But as far as funding and lending, you want to make sure that you are paired and partnered with some of the better financial institutions around here that will help you, that best fits you, and also with SBA lending products, that bank may have SBA lending products a part of their services. Not all banks do, but a lot of banks in our area do. They may offer that as well as some of their in-house commercial lending products that they may have. Again, it goes back to making sure it best fits you and what you have going on.
Right. And how do you know who you are as a business? Business plan, right?
Yes, business plan.
Okay, it's making sense now. You gotta preach to me a little bit longer, but then I'll finally get on board. All right. So let's see. We have an idea. We wake up. We might start it, we might not, but we realize that if we're going to be official and we're going to really knock this thing out of the park and we want to set ourselves up for sustainability, we're going to have a business plan, we're going to have a financial plan, we're going to seek out lenders if we need them, or we're going to potentially use our savings. But remember, Christina did not say use all your savings. Christina just said you might want to take a portion of that if you can to avoid having to go to a lender.
Or just get into the process. For example, I have a client that's very successful. It took her, and I heard Deron talk about this, how he stayed working until he got to a point where he can get out of his regular job and get into his company, his all the way, have both feet in. I have a client, it took her about 5 or 6 years. At the end of her day, she would go work in her small business, but she made a conscious decision with her husband, made sure she put money back, made sure that they had a good nest egg, and she was ready financially, that she was ready mentally to step out of that role and go into full entrepreneurship. And it's a lot of work. It is making sure you know what you're getting into. And one of the best things you can do is have an industry mentor.
Okay. Industry mentor. Would that be you or would that be somebody specific to that industry?
Someone specific to that industry.
Okay.
So if you were going in the restaurant business, go into a restaurant, go see a head chef, go see a manager of a restaurant, work in there a little bit, shadow them,
Right.
pick their brains. Make sure you know what you're getting into, especially if this is your first time venturing something like that.
I'm thinking about Gordon Ramsay. He's got all those popular television shows. Like, can we just call him up and he come mentor us all? That'd be
I'm
awesome.
sure.
Yeah. Right. Maybe we can at least get on one of his shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so that industry mentor, another key element, something that we can hold on to.
Yeah.
And actually, if you think about it, we've all broken into business in some way, shape, or form. And when we got there, whether it was before or once we finally got to wherever we were, there was somebody that we could talk to that showed us the way, whether they just stepped in and voluntarily said, yeah, I'm going to take you under my wing, or whether we asked, or whether a friendship was just formed, it happened. So I like that piece of information.
Yes.
That advice is, I think, critical. I could name every step of the way, because I've changed careers a couple times, and every step of the way, there were people that I could talk to, and people that really took a vested interest in me.
Right.
And I'm thinking, there's nothing special about me, but I was ever so thankful that they did.
Exactly. If you can get someone, if you're lucky enough to get someone who's in an industry that you're interested in, and you might even have this great idea, and like I say, you've never been in it before, you get into that industry, you work in it, you might be like, maybe that's not for me. Yeah. I've had people who've come to our office and they weren't ready to get into that entrepreneurship role, whatever business they were in. So they come back 2-3 years later and say, okay, Miss Christina, I'm ready now. Because I have my ducks in a row, or I got some more education on this, or I took a few more webinars, I got some certifications. Now I'm ready. Now I've saved some money. Now I'm ready to jump into it.
Wow. Okay. So so we covered a lot of ground. What after that? I feel like there's and then. Is there an and
there's
then?
Always the and then. So you have your plan, you have your financial plan, you have your lender. Let's say they grant you the funding. Now is back to that business plan.
Again?
Now you're putting your money where you planned it to be. Now you're buying your furniture, your fixture, your equipment, setting up your space so you can open for business. Getting together your marketing plan. Marketing needs to be part of that monthly expenditure, because you can't just set up shop and not tell anyone about it.
You know, with all this money coming in and out, and I'm thinking I don't have any money for this, right? Or entrepreneurs are probably thinking the same thing. Future entrepreneurs. I got 2 questions.
Okay.
Are there any grants available for startups? And the other question, probably the more important question, is, with all this great information that you're trying to get me to seek out through you, Christina, is there a cost or a charge to receive this counseling and this advice and this mentorship from you and the LSBDC? I know that's 2 separate questions, but
Okay. Question 1. Grants. SBDC we do not help search or write grants.
okay.
You can go to grants.gov. You can look up grant opportunities there. Most of the grants that are out there are for nonprofit organizations. Our main concentration is not nonprofit, it's for-profit organizations or for-profit businesses. There could be some grants that are out there for specific industries or for a startup, and that's probably because they have a business with a social cause. So let's just say you hire only veterans or disabled veterans in your business. There might be some funding out there for you because you only hire those types of people. So as far as grants go, you can go to grants.gov to search for some grants that are out there. We do not help seek out or write grants.
Okay, well, that's fair enough.
Okay. Second question. How much do we cost? We cost your time and effort. We are a state and federally funded organization. So to you, out of your pocket, as far as monetary value, we do not cost anything. But you have to put into your time, your effort when you come meet with us. We meet with a lot of clients during the year, and you just can't expect us to always think about, oh, I need to help Mike today, but I haven't heard from Mike in 3 weeks.
So time out. So first of all, I love the sound of free in the sense that I know nothing's really free, but
no cost.
yeah, no cost. I don't have to pull out a credit card. I don't have to write a check. Right. I don't have to do PayPal or Venmo or Cash App or anything like that. I can come into the LSBDC offices and I can receive this guidance, priceless, for free.
For no cost.
I'm sorry, for no cost. But I have to do my homework.
Yes.
And I have to be organized. And I can't just expect to walk into the offices and you help me. I probably need to schedule an appointment and that kind of thing, right, to make it all work.
Right. Call us, 342-1224, if you're in Northeast Louisiana area. If you're not, we can definitely connect you with people who are in your area. But we cover 15 parishes from Union all the way down to Concordia. So our office number is 342-1224. So we can sit down, have a conversation, put together a business plan. Ron's favorite thing to do.
Oh, you know it. I love the business plan.
And learn how to take that business plan, apply it where we can get off to a good start. We need to first get things on paper, and we need to know how much this is going to cost you. And you know what? It doesn't hurt anything if you're just not ready right now. At least you have a plan together, and so we can set up some things where you can flourish in the future.
Okay. I like the sound of it all. Now, we're coming up on time.
Okay.
And I want to make sure you get everything else that you have, in your head that you do every day. I want to make sure you get that out. So I will leave this last segment to you to say your final words and your words of wisdom and give us some inspiration to climb the mountain towards small business ownership.
Know that slow and steady wins the race. Don't be in a rush to open your business. Dot all your I's, cross all your T's, prepare. No, you can't prepare for every single thing, but prepare for the best part of your business and prepare for the worst part of the business. Make sure you have a support system around you that can assist you in mentally, physically, and also with some of the business aspects that you're not familiar with, because we don't know everything, right? So it's good to have a great support system around you. Plan, plan, plan. Putting it on paper is very, very important. Making sure you know what you're doing, why you're doing it, what's the price of doing it. Again, plan, plan, plan. Because you can't, as I said before, you can't meet goals that you don't set. Right?
I agree. I agree.
You can't meet goals that you do not set.
All right.
This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Being an entrepreneur, it takes time.
Dang.
And I think Brian said it. He said it best. He said it took me 2 to 3 years to get a profit from his bar and grill that he had.
Right.
By the way, I didn't know he owned a bar and grill either.
See, I mean, we're both mad. Like, we didn't get a chance
I
to
didn't
taste
get a
that
cha-
great
yeah.
food, right?
And always be professional and brand yourself in a positive image. When people hear about a new place, a new restaurant, a new boutique, a new salon, a new cyber company, a new tech company, they want to know who's behind it. What makes this person the person to go to? So make sure you brand yourself well. Clear off that Facebook page if it has anything on there that's not supposed to. But make sure you put yourself out there the way you want to be perceived, so you can attract that target audience. Every follower is not your customer.
Oh.
And I'll end it on that.
We are giving a checklist now at the end, and that last one really hit. Every follower is not your customer. Can you just say a couple more words to that end?
You can have so many followers out there that follow you, but the real value comes with people that buy from you, that go to your website and actually push purchase in their cart. They might just follow you because they like you as a person. They might follow you because they're family members or they're friends. But you need to get your real audience out there to purchase things from you. That's what I mean by that.
Woo. All right. I mean, we're dropping bombs here. Louisiana Delta Community College School of Business and Technology Global Entrepreneurship Week. We are thrilled and just happy and blessed, if I can say that,
Yes.
to have all of the great speakers we've had on so far. We hope to continue that momentum tomorrow and into Thursday. And y'all, if it's been this good already, who knows how much better it's going to be as we keep moving on throughout the week. So y'all stay tuned. Come back to the LDCC BTech TV page is what I'm going to call it, YouTube, of course. And we will see you at the next one tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Thank you.